Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are excited to have our friend Catherine Landschoot here joining us once again for another great conversation. And she's the founder of Make It Matter Ministries, based out of Shortsville, New York, but helping people worldwide with her work. Catherine, please say hello and introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers today.
Yes, hi again. My name's Kathy Landschoot. I am the founder of Make It Matter Ministries, like Jill said, and we provide what I like to say coaching services for real life, helping people get things together when they know where they want to head, but need a little bit of guidance and support to get there. That's what we're here for.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for being here. It's makeitmatterministries.org. And I know we have an awesome guest with us today. Would you mind introducing her?
Yes, I have a wonderful young lady that I am very proud to know. She actually happens to be my daughter.
Get to meet the whole
The
family.
whole family. And I will turn it over. This is Arielle DeVito, and I'd love her to introduce herself and kind of give the audience an idea of what she provides.
Oh, hey. Hi.
Hey.
It's so nice to be here. This is so cool. So my name is Arielle DeVito, and like Kathy said, I am her daughter. The best one at that. No offense to my sister.
I was going to say,
we love this little, competition between us, but whatever.
Of course.
So I own Be More Than Fit personal training, and what we do is we help people make living a healthy lifestyle way more simple. So like I love to call myself a healthy lifestyle strategist. Because there are little things that, we tend to overcomplicate everything, right? Like it definitely could be way more simple than we make it. And so that's what we do is we educate and motivate people to live a healthier lifestyle, literally one step at a time.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And by the way, how can we contact you? Do you have a website, social media pages?
Yep. So we do. We have a Facebook page. It's Be More Than Fit. And our website is bemorethanfit.com.
Awesome. All right. So, Catherine, you got to integrate us here with it. This is awesome. It's like a surprise every week. What family members popping up? Let's talk about the work you do, Catherine, for those that may not know. Again, we have new listeners and viewers each and every week. And then let's incorporate Arielle into that as well.
Yep, absolutely. So I do life coaching, and a lot of people aren't real familiar with what that is. My specialty is in grief coaching, which really is centered on helping people get through really difficult times in their lives. When we have losses of any kind, it creates huge transition periods, and it doesn't have to be the loss of an individual's life necessarily. I deal and have dealt for many years at this point with people who struggle with addiction. I've loved lots of people who have had addiction interfere, I will say, and then actually even to the degree of taking over and taking their lives. Far too many to count and to try to talk about. Enough though to say that that I've kind of been there and done that, and I've learned some hugely important lessons in life that that I just it's not what I do is a calling, I would say. And the same thing with Arielle. I couldn't be more proud of my kids. I'll tell you, we've had a lot of things happen in our family, things that happen in your families, things that all of us go through, and just so very grateful that we have found things that work for us and things that work, and they're things that work for anybody. So, I just want to encourage anybody who's listening, if you have been through some difficult times, if you have suffered some losses, relationships, jobs, marriages, problems in families, all of that stuff. I spent more than 10 years in the big house, as they would say, doing counseling services with people struggling with addiction in the New York State prison system. I've worked with just so many people, and honestly, some of my greatest heroes are the clients that I've worked with. It's just amazing what we are capable of as human beings, what we can accomplish. We can do hard things. And a lot of times it's the knowledge of how to get where we know we want to go. we make those decisions and we say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore, or from now on, I'm going to do that. Maybe we've gone through therapy, we've gone through counseling, we've gone through rehabilitation programs, and still it's revisiting. So really what this whole ball of wax, as my grandmother would say, is about, is to find those practical tools and practical skills that will allow me to move forward in the direction I want to go.
Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. There's a lot that you do, and commend you on that. That's, working, with those imprisoned is not an easy task, but you're there to help and love everyone and support everyone. I know we talked last week with your son who admits that he has a drug addiction. He's
Mhm.
had some problems, alcohol. We've come, we talked back and forth about my family. I can empathize with that. So I appreciate the work you're doing because these people need you.
Mm.
These people are amazing and they just need the guidance and the help and the way. And now, how does it work with your family? Now you have Ariel. Did you have to coach her into things? What's your story and backstory?
I don't know if I want, I really think that I'd love her to just share
Sure.
where she started and where she's come to.
All right, so I'm up. Okay, where to start? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So actually, ironically, from my perspective, I feel like this coaching thing, both my mother and I are kind of simultaneously realizing that our gift is coaching. And, when I was in high school, I didn't necessarily say like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. This has been more so of like, as I'm, peeling back the layers of learning about myself, realizing that my gift is actually pretty similar, almost identical to what my mom is realizing for herself is her gift. And so it's just so crazy because like, I mean, pretty much anybody would just figure I gotta, either go to school or I gotta find a job. You just take those simple steps to
You
like
do. Yeah.
further your life, right? And like do the
Mm-hmm.
right next thing. And as you navigate that path and like make, that next step based on
That's
your
it.
circumstances, right? Life happens and it's like, here's a pile of circumstances you have to deal with. And you go, oh, okay, so I'm gonna go get a job or I'm gonna go connect with these people, right? So it's just so amazing to me that simultaneously as me as a daughter have set out on the path of just trying to be a responsible human, right? And take care of my life circumstances, watching my mom do the same in a different capacity,
Mm-hmm.
revealing that we both have this gift of coaching is like just so crazy.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
Runs in the
I want
family.
to, I want to throw in there. We've just written a book together along with 13 other women, a collaborative effort, where we share our stories. It's called Warrior Women, and it's turning life lessons into legacy. What an awesome opportunity to do something with my daughter. And there's actually another, I believe just one other mother and daughter team that's in the book as well. It's amazing. And just to steal a little bit of her fire, I want to say my daughter got pregnant in high school. And wow, I'm the only one on the planet that's dealt with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have watched as she has made responsible choices,
Mm-hmm.
as her
Ah,
boyfriend and now husband has done the same. I have had the wonderful pleasure of watching the two of them grow and grow together and grow as a family. They now have 3 boys. They've been married. Tell me how long, Ariel?
Oh God, don't ask me that question.
Oh, tell me. No, it's
I always
what,
have the math
18
on the spot.
years?
So we got
wow.
married. Yeah, we got married in 2005.
Yep. Yep. So my oldest grandson, and I mean I'm only 27, right?
Of course. Yeah.
My oldest grandson is going to be 20 years old in just a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at what we went through as a family with that. And again, I say, the experiences that we've had, pretty much the gamut of what people go through. You're not alone. There
Yeah.
are ways to get to where you want to go. It may not be the direction you thought it would be, but just because something goes wrong or something, there's a challenge or something that blocks my way and makes it more difficult does not mean I can't navigate it and get to where I need to be. we have a purpose. And the key is finding that purpose. Ariel, you and I were talking about this morning a little bit. Would you like to share a little bit about that? The
Yeah,
direct.
well, I mean, even just you saying that, I'll never forget telling my parents that my boyfriend and I were expecting a baby our senior year of high school. And one of the things that has always stuck with me that you said was that, we're just writing our chapters in a different order, right? Like, and when we, collaborated
Yeah.
on this book project too, it was like one of those, I don't know, it's just like that, I think it added to my internal navigation system that's exactly right. Like we all kind of have this idea of what we think our day, our routine, our personalities, our
Yeah.
success is supposed to look like. And we have these ideas of how we want it to be. But the reality is, we all have individual paths to take to get there. And just because it doesn't look the way we thought it was going to look doesn't mean that it's not still meant for us.
True.
So we're just like writing those chapters in different order. And like, who cares what order? Just show up, right? Like, show up as your best and do what you can to make it happen. And we were talking about that this morning, just this idea of, even if you can't recognize your gifts yet as a calling, it's in there. And there are things that, we were talking about measuring sticks, and I said, if you have, whether it's who you are and you don't want to be, or who you want to be and you're not quite there yet, we measure ourselves based on culture, society, our upbringing, our environment. We have these measuring sticks where we go either I'm not good enough or like I'm still not who I want to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is like we get to decide what measuring stick we use, and we actually get to create our own measuring sticks and really like start to be open to the fact that growth is always available.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need another, for me it's fitness, right? Fitness and diets
Yeah.
and stuff. You don't need another diet to follow. You don't need another fitness program to follow to be successful. You don't need any more information. You really just need to do the thing, like drink the water, stop eating, the drive-through foods, stop drinking the soda. Like, you already have enough knowledge and information that who you're meant to be. Right.
Yeah.
So like I was telling my mom a lot of times, for me in the fitness industry, when I don't look ripped, right? when I'm not buff, when I'm not the strongest person I've been, like, there are seasons that really that internal dialogue
Yeah.
of, hey, you're not doing the thing that you could be doing. And I don't even like to say should be doing. It's you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing the thing that you could be doing. And instead of beating myself up about it, I realize that I'm just not stepping into my potential. I'm choosing not to like pursue that calling, and figuring out why that is and being able to identify that stuck point. That's where you start and you go, okay, like, what am I measuring myself against? Who do I want to be? Who am I called to be? And just like, what's the next step, right? What do I
Yeah.
need to do next?
Yeah, I got to jump in here with that. Every client that I've ever had, one of the first things that I say to them is I'm getting, I want to get to know them, but then as I talk about what I can bring to the table and how I might be able to help them, is I want them to understand, if I can do any job, this is the most important, is to help someone understand that they already have what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I or Ariel or anybody can give us.
Yeah.
It's something that we have to find within ourselves. No matter what the struggle is, no matter how hard your life has been, you do have in your own mind and in your heart, even if it's not in your head right for the moment, it's inside you what
Yeah.
you need to do. You probably could teach the class. We have all that knowledge. There's a plethora of it. There's never been more information than is available to us now. We can find the information. The
True.
question is, do I have the value in myself to recognize that I have that in me already? The
Hmm.
ability is there. And that's why I think coaching is so important, because we're not pulling apart trying to figure out why we think the way that we do
Yep.
necessarily. That is that piece for therapy and counseling. But how many of us struggle and struggle after years and repetitions of those kind of things? We have the information. I got to have a fire lit under my behind. I got to, hold my feet to the fire and get me moving. I think Nike has the answer. Just do
Yeah,
it.
I am
Just
a
do
huge
it.
Nike fan.
Love
Genius,
it.
right? It's true. Wow, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yoda's words, there is no try. Do or do not. So don't say I'm trying anymore. Get the word try right out of your vocabulary. If you are putting effort into something, you're doing it. You may not be doing it to the level that your hope is for, which goes back to what Ariel said. If we progress as we move forward, it doesn't have to be giant steps. And we make the choice. Ooh, hard to accept it, but I make the choice to step back. I make
Wow.
the choice to throw my hands up and say, it's not worth it anymore.
Hmm. By the way, let's remind everyone who we're speaking to if they're just tuning in, saying, "Who are these ladies?" Catherine, Ariel, please tell us a little bit how we can contact you both. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Ariel.
Okay, so Ariel DeVito, healthy lifestyle strategist. I own Be More Than Fit personal training. You can find me at BeMoreThanFit.com, and on our Facebook page is BMTF Studio.
Perfect. And Catherine?
Okay. And I Make It Matter Ministries. We do coaching for real life. And our website is makeitmatterministries.org. You can reach me via text or phone call for making appointments and so forth at area code 585-577-7715. And I will say, with everybody that I work with, I do free consultation first. I want to know, not only, I know this sounds a little bit harsh, but
Okay.
not only do I want you to know you want to work with me and that you feel like that we're, a good match. I want to see that you're motivated too. If you're not ready to move forward, maybe some more counseling, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe some more of that work on
Yeah.
yourself. But when you're ready to move forward and you just feel like you need that extra push
Push.
and that to be able to move forward and have those tools. I like to say we empty our suitcases of all our old baggage when we go to therapy and counseling. And coaching then allows you to find and develop and practice the tools you need to put into that luggage to move forward on your journey.
Wow. Beautifully said. All right. What else is in store for us? What are the topics we want to dive into? We have what, 8 minutes? Um, but what else do you want to share with us? Why, the benefits of having someone like you right here as a cheerleader, like holding your hands.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
carpal tunnel right now, so I can't, but I'm like trying to shake
Oh,
both hands.
no.
I just got a cortisone shot. So
Yeah.
you need someone to hold your hand. You need the guidance.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you have, think about a football player. The best players have the best coaches.
Hmm.
The player has the ability, they have the skills, but the refinement and the encouragement and the just those little adjustments and having answers to questions about, how can I do this better? How can I find greater strength in the areas that I may not be quite so good at? How do I really
Yeah.
refine and move forward with my, to become my best? And with that, Ariel's got plenty to say about finding your
I
best.
do.
Go ahead. Go
Nice
ahead.
little segue
So
there.
yeah, actually, it's funny because coincidentally, I was signing some books this morning that we are getting ready to send out, and I wrote in it, "Go live your best life." And right now, like what keeps being brought to mind is do the you that you would do. And the whole idea behind that is like when you picture your best self, like what does that look like? And you literally have to take that time to like close your eyes, get quiet, remove distractions, and say, at my best, how do I feel?
Wow.
How do I treat people? What do I do with
Mhm.
my time? And when you can really like get a sense of your atmosphere, your environment, and I don't care, you can do this kind of visualization when it comes to even what your body looks like, how you feel in your body, and really get a picture of that. Your habits start to align with who you see yourself as. So
Mhm.
when you start identifying yourself with things of your past, when you start identifying yourself with the lies that we tell
Mhm.
ourselves, like that, if we see ourselves as that negative version that we view as like a disadvantage, our habits align with giving us that end result. And
So true.
instead, the challenge is going, who do I
So
want
true.
to be? Right? Like
Yeah.
envisioning yourself, like being that person, your habits will align you with how you see yourself. And so if you need to change the vision of who that looks like, that's where you have to start.
That is so true. I was saying the other day, things come out of my mouth. We were talking about this a little bit. When I get passionate about stuff just kind of comes out. It's like, what did I just say? I think that was pretty good, right? So somebody's caught what I said the other day, and this is what it was. So when we make a mistake or we make, a poor choice or
Yeah.
something we shouldn't have done, whatever, we find out, wow, that was a bad idea. When we do that once, that is a mistake.
Yeah.
But if I do it again, that's a choice to self sabotage. Whether I want to admit it or not,
Yeah.
I am sabotaging myself by repeating what I know didn't work. And we have to find that within ourselves to say it's not only me that lies to myself, but the people who planted some of those ideas, they were wrong. And
True.
if if you're struggling with self-esteem and struggling with who you've been told you might be as you grow up, they're wrong. Those statements come from people who aren't as healthy as they could be. And
Mm-hmm.
people say things. Don't own those things. They're not you.
I love it. Oh, I'm energized from this conversation. But really, there's all that there's so many of us that just feel stuck. We feel we can't. There's always an excuse, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us. But that's also we call it what limiting self belief,
Yes.
right? A
Yes.
lot of us. So you help in stopping, changing those limiting beliefs. That's how I could say it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, and something we talked about too that I just I'll be completely transparent. Like the thoughts that came to me this morning, specifically knowing that I was getting ready to come on and do a podcast, were literally, it came out of me getting out of the shower. I'm staying with my sister in law right now. We're up visiting in New York. We live in Tennessee. So we're staying with family. And there's this massive mirror above the sink
Mm.
right across from the shower. And so I got out this morning and I was like, oh, I need to get back to the gym, right? Like, so it's very normal to have like these thoughts where
Yeah.
you're like, man, I'm not where I want to be yet, right? And
Hmm.
so instead of beating myself up, I'm thinking, how do you help somebody realize
Yeah.
that they can do this forever? And you go, man, how do I
And you're
actually
like,
like be
what?
that person who
Hmm.
works out forever or eats healthy forever? And forever seems like it's heavy and daunting and impossible. So the change is how do I do this today? And if you want to get even better, it's like, how do I make this happen tomorrow? And what this is eating well or making a better choice in the moment
Ah,
or not yelling at people when like not
yeah.
reacting, but responding
Yep.
instead. And it's like, don't think about forever. Just think about how do I be that person today? And how
Hmm.
can I set myself up for success to do it again tomorrow? And if you just focus on like the next 48 hours,
Yeah.
you're in. Like
All
that
right.
is forever.
All
Yep.
right.
That's so well said. And I love Ariel's business name. Be more than fit. And that's what it's about. This isn't about physical, it's not about mental, it's not about emotional and spiritual. Like in categories, it's all of it collectively coming together and finding a way to be who I am capable of and to find that purpose that I have in my life to move forward, because we're not
Yeah.
here for us, we're here for each other. And we can do hard things.
Well, thank you for being here, for joining us. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Would you mind reminding us how we can reach out to you both?
Yep. I'm at makeitmatterministries.org. Phone number is 585-577-7715.
And Ariel?
I am Ariel DeVito. I own Be More Than Fit Personal Training, and you can find us at www.bemorethanfit.com. And our contact number is 585-208-0337.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, and looking forward to the next time we all connect.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.